السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, Imam at-Tirmidhi has recorded from the hadith of Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu. He says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من صلى لله 40 يوما في جماعة يدرك التكبيرة الأولى كتب له براءتان براءة من النار وبراءة من النفاق. The one who reads Salah for Allah Jalla wa Ala 40 consecutive days in congregation, being with the Imam from the very first Takbeer. Once the Imam says Allahu Akbar, this man is there. He does not come in the second rak'ah. He does not come in the last rak'ah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says he will be given two bara'as. Bara'atun min al-nar, he will be saved from the fire. Wa bara'atun min al-nifaq, he will be saved from hypocrisy. From this hadith we learn firstly the fadl, the virtue of reading Salah in congregation and the great rewards mentioned. We also learn the importance of coming early to the masjid, being on time, being with the Imam from the very beginning of our Salah. The number 40 is mentioned in this hadith. It does not mean that once you complete 40 days, then you leave Salah in Jama'ah, or you are not seen in the masjid. But rather what is meant, Wallahu A'lam, is when one completes this period of time, he changes for the better. And he becomes closer to Salah. He loves his Salah more. He is more particular when it comes to reading his Salah in congregation. If we look at the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we find that in some ahadith, the number 40 is mentioned to show change. For example, in the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informed us how a person is created and how when he is gathered in his mother's stomach, firstly as fluid, 40 days. When the water of the man and the woman meet, he is gathered first 40 days. After 40 days, he is changed into a blood clot, that which is similar to a blood clot, or some people say a blood clot. After another 40 days, he is changed into a mudghah, which is like a chewed up morsel of flesh. Thereafter, 120 days here have passed. Thereafter, the soul is put into this person. The point being mentioned is in some ahadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions that after 40 days, change occurs. So, bi'idhnillah, the one who, when it comes to his Salah in Jama'ah, and he completes this period of time, being with the Imam from the very first Takbeer, bi'idhnillah, he will change for the better. And his relationship with Salah will become stronger. When we look at some of the ulama and their stories with Salah, their experiences with Salah. When we look at Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah rahimahullah, he says that A'mash was close on to 70 years and he never ever missed the first Takbeer with the Imam. As for another alim, قال غسان حدثني ابن أخي, Ghassan said, the son of my brother told me, he said, I did not see my uncle miss the first Takbeer ever. Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib rahimahullah, he says, ما فاتتني التكبيرة الأولى منذ 50 سنة وما نظرت إلى قفا رجل في الصلاة منذ 50 سنة. I did not miss the first Takbeer with the Imam for 50 years. And I never ever saw the back of somebody in Salah for 50 years. In other words, he was always in the first saf, the first line. When you are in the second line, you see there are people in front of you. When you are in the first line, there is nobody in front of you, so you do not see the back of anybody. Here Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib rahimahullah is telling us that he read Salah in congregation. He did not miss it for 50 years. He did not miss reading Salah in the first line for 50 years. He did not miss being with the Imam from the very first part of his Salah, from the first Takbeer, for 50 years. That is why Ibrahim at-Taymi rahimahullah, he says, if you see a man, he is lazy when it comes to the first Takbeer, and he doesn't show any care when it comes to the first takbeer, then wash your hands off this man. It is sad to find that sometimes when the salah has started, we find people, they still want to sit outside. Or they are talking and they don't want to come to the masjid. They don't want to come and start their salah. They don't want to come to the first saf. So many times people come early to the masjid, but they sit at the back. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, لا يزال قوم يتأخرون حتى يؤخرهم الله. There are certain people who carry on delaying until Allah Jalla wa Ala decides and He delays them. In other words, He has decided that they will be delayed. So sometimes you do something which is bad. For example, in this instance, we are talking about those who sit at the back of the masjid. You had an opportunity to come to the front, but you didn't take it. Maybe later on in your life, when you want to change, you want to come and read salah in the first saf. But because you did not take that opportunity, Allah Jalla wa Ala delays you. In other words, now when you want to carry out this act of worship, you are unable to carry it out. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions in another hadith, when it comes to the fadl of the first saf, of the first line, he said, if the people knew what was in this first line, when it came to reward, when it came to goodness, and they didn't find any way for everybody to fit. In other words, the first line, not everybody can fit in it if they knew the reward. So they would take lots in order that people may choose, or people may get chances to read in the first saf. When we look at these ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, mentioning the fadl of the masjid, mentioning the fadl of the first saf, when we look at some of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, some of the Tabi'een, when it comes to their story with Salah, some of them had not missed a single Salah, and in Jama'ah, in congregation. On top of that, they did not miss Salah, the first part of the Salah with the Imam. In other words, they were there from the very beginning. They did not miss when it came to reading Salah in the first line. We should ask ourselves, what is our condition when it comes to Salah? What is our condition when it comes to the masjid? What is our condition when it comes to the first saf? What is our condition when it comes to being early or coming early to the masjid? We ask Allah Jalla wa Ala to make us from those who read Salah in congregation. We ask Him to forgive us, to forgive our parents, to forgive our mashayikh, to forgive all the Muslimin, those who are alive and those who have passed away. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.